home gardeners, this is for you. So if you like to do your gardening in your house, in your own house, at your own home, right? If you are looking for indoor plants and if you prefer leaves than flowers, right? Then you should try growing the leaf begonia. So they come in many shapes or sizes and they come in many colors, right? And I have many gardeners, many friends who collect all these plants, right? They grow the rare varieties, the rare cultivars, and they are fairly easy to grow, right? They are easy to maintain, especially when you apply the grow method. So you can download my ebook and learn everything about the grow method. So click on the link below. So to grow any plant well, or to grow leaf begonia well, we will want to understand their growing environment. So the best way to do that is to recreate the exact uh, environment as what they have in the wild, their natural habitat. So only then they will have less stress and they will grow to their full potential, right? Because they are going in their own comfort zone, they are going in where they are very familiar with. So this is exactly what the grow method is all about. Right? So with the grow method, we look at the 5 growing conditions. That will be light, water, humidity, potting media, and feeding. So we can look for photos online on leaf begonia growing in the wild, and from there we can see, what are the light conditions look like, and what are the watering and things like that, right? And that's how the grow method works. So let's get started with the first growing condition, and that is light. So here are some photos of leaf begonias that you can find online. So you just have to, Google for wild leaf begonias, or you just enter the search term, and you can see many of these photos of wild leaf begonia growing in the wild. So can you see that, they are found on forest floors, they're found on the undergrowth, right? So from the photos, you can see that the amount of light that they receive is not very much, right? It's not like just out in the open fields and things like that, right? So it can be observed that they don't have direct sunlight all the time. So they are actually shade-loving plants, so making them the perfect indoor plants to grow. So we will want to recreate similar conditions for them. So we will want to give them at least 4 hours of bright light from the sun, right? Meaning that if you put your hand over the light and you can cast a shadow, right, you will see the blurry shadow, the blurry silhouette of your hand, and that is the bright light condition. So ideally, I will want to get them at least 6 hours of bright light. So grow them beside a bright window, that will do, right? Or grow them on your patio, grow them on your balcony, your corridor, that is perfect. Right, so next condition that we looked at will be water. So if you observe closely in the photos, right, you can see the soil, right? You can see the soil is pretty dark and moist, right? And given that, it is found on forest floors, right, generally the soil there is moist. So we want to recreate the same. So we want to make sure that when we use the potting soil, right, it needs to be thoroughly watered and keep moist at all times. Right, so the next condition, humidity. Not very surprising, jungles and forests, they have high humidity because of less wind and there's less airflow. And other surrounding plants give out water vapor as well. So not a lot of airflow and hence the overall humidity actually increases. Right, so we'll need to maintain the high humidity when we grow leaf begonia. So keep them away from strong winds, keep them away from the breeze, and never leave them exposed to a lot of these winds and things like that, right? So best to grow them with other plants side by side because that increase the relative humidity level in that particular spot itself. So next, we look at potting media. So when it comes to potting media, there are 2 things to consider, right? So that would be the nutrient level and the water retention capability. So jungle floors, forest floor, the undergrowth, definitely full of plant matter, hence higher nutrient levels. Right, so it also retains a lot of water as well. So I would use regular garden soil to grow leaf begonia. So very simple. And the last growing condition, that is feeding, and this is very straightforward. They need to be fertilized regularly as what they have in the wild, right? Leaf begonia, they are always found on very nutritious soil, right? There's a lot of plant matter in the soil, there's a lot of nutrients. So I would use leaf growth fertilizers, general growth fertilizers, Osmocote or something like NPK 1:1:1. That's perfectly fine. So if we look at everything, right, we put everything together from the photos that we can replicate the growing environment, right? 6 hours of sunlight, keep the soil moist, avoid the winds, increase the humidity, use garden soil, and regular fertilizing. That's it, right? So simple and straightforward, right? So even you are a total beginner, you have never done any gardening before, using the grow method, you will already know exactly what to do. But you are a lot better than those who don't know anything. You know, they just buy the plant and they try to learn through a trial and error, right? They kill many plants in order to figure out what's actually working, right? So that is not the best way to learn, right? So that's the power of the grow method, right? It's super effective, easy to implement, right? Even for new beginners. So gardening is never about practical experience or really about technical skills. It is a lot about the understanding and the application of the gardening principle that really makes the difference, that really separates you from a beginner from a master gardener. Right, so if you learned something new today, comment below and let me know. So click on the subscribe button if you have not done so. Enjoy your gardening and I will see you in the next video.